This week, I'm on trains, planes, and automobiles. We're going to get to know Rip a little bit more this episode. The one stars always appreciate Rip, energy, insights, life advice. We're going to learn a little bit more about this man, how he became the legend he is. We're going to talk some NBA playoffs. We're going to talk the wonders of travel as I move to Tejas. Enjoy this episode.
The one-star recruits have partnered with 500 Level. It's 500level.com. All the stars in the NBA playoffs seem to be getting hurt, but you can find shirts for guys like Austin Reeves, De'Aaron Fox, all on 500level.com. Use the code ONESTAR for 20% off everything on the site. It's the go-to spot for big head shirts, the cartoon characters. Awesome stuff. Code ONESTAR. Let's go.
Hi, welcome to the One Star Recruits podcast. I'm DK, joined as always with my best friend Rip. We are one stars. We are only going to be one stars today. We're going to stick with us. We're going to give you some 5-star information on the NBA playoffs. I'm going to get right into it. First things first, hot off the press. Basically, if you're not watching the NBA playoffs, you must be locked in on, I don't know, Rip, Love is Blind, or living under a rock, literally. They have been so GOOD good, bro. So good. In my humble opinion, it has been the best NBA playoffs since the 2017 Warriors run with Kevin Durant on the Golden State Warriors. We have the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors in Sacramento has been electric. Sacramento has been amazing. The city of Sacramento has been amazing. That looks like Golden State when they played the Dallas Mavericks back in 2008. We have the Memphis Lakers series. You can't turn away from it. You cannot move your head from this series. Literally, it's LeBron willing a guy like Anthony Davis to go from good to great live in front of your face. Like my guy Rip said, Austin Reeves takes the level up in the playoffs. You cannot move your head away from this shit. The Suns Clippers is going to be a dogfight. I got a couple texts from you, Rip. You were saying you're not worried. It's going to be a dogfight. Westbrook showed up in ways we didn't even think about. We forgot he does that. People hate Draymond Green. People love LeBron James. Scott Foster, a.k.a. the Extender, is doing his thing. What an intro, Rip. NBA playoffs. If it's not exciting, I don't know what the fuck is. Am I lying? Am I lying to all of our listeners right now?
It's the best playoffs of the four major sports, DK. All the emotions come out. Like you said, that the hate for Draymond Green is at all-time highs right now. And the Suns aren't even playing them. And you always find a player to really dislike on the team that you're facing. Who is it for you this series? Have you found any hatred toward any particular LA Clipper right now?
A dislike. I had a really hard time with Terrence Mann for some reason. He seems like a good guy, but he had a couple plays where he fucked up basically about 3 plays in a row. And I was really like, hell yeah, Terrence Mann. And then boom, daggers kind of at some times when it hurts my heart a little bit. I think a part of me wants a Terrence Mann on our basketball team, Rip, kind of like that Mikal Bridges guy that we don't have anymore, who can lock down. So Draymond hits me the wrong way. I'm frustrated. I would say frustrated with some guys on the Suns more so than the other. Draymond annoys me. Draymond, it's kind of getting old, man. Every single time somebody's on the floor, there's an antic. He's doing it. They obviously took the L last night. It didn't work in that situation. He was yelling at the crowd. He was WWE wrestling in game 2. And I think some of that is like, don't worry. They said this, the announcer said it. Don't worry, take the attention off me, put the attention on me so my teammates don't have to worry, take on this pressure of this fucking whole building chiming down on me. The cowbells. Did you see Bob Myers and Kirk Lacob sitting in normal seats with the guy banging the cowbell behind his head, Rip?
That's awesome. They should have threw one out at Draymond. I mean, yeah, his antics, man. You got to keep your composure. It was a real turning point in the game. For as much as I don't like the guy. He is the real glue to that team, and you can notice it, especially on the defensive end when he's not on the court.
It's entertaining. It's here to entertain us, like baseball. Baseball is here to. It's entertainment. Once we get to a certain point where we start pushing some of these rules, you should feel a certain way. You should text your text chat groups when Draymond stomps Domantas Sabonis in the chest. I mean, he did grab his leg a little bit, Rip. He did grab his leg. He was trying to just pop out, but that was a stomp WWE move. The best part about it, though, very entertaining. The game was over. Both men acknowledged it. Guess what? We're going to move on to a game 3 in that series, just like the rest of these playoff games. So what has shocked you so far the most so far in games 1 and 2 of the first round of the NBA playoffs?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned Terrence Mann because my son's first basketball game last year was a Clippers Kings game just at the end of the regular season. They gave away a Terrence Mann bobblehead, probably one of the most obscure bobbleheads anyone ever has. We had 3 of them in our house. So I took one out of the box and we set them up next to the Steph Curry and Wilt Chamberlain bobbleheads that you gave us on our trip to Hawaii. And my 4-year-old was trying to climb up and grab it from the shelf the other day. And the Terrence Mann bobblehead, he wasn't tall enough. So he grabbed it and it fell on the floor and shattered in like 6 pieces. So Terrence Mann literally, it's like maybe a voodoo doll, but yeah, he shattered in our house.
Shit, it is a voodoo doll.
Before the series started. But
the corner 3 voodoo doll. How come that couldn't be an Ish Wainwright? What? Ish, you told us you were going to work on that 3-point shot. It's the thing about Terrence Mann and those guys, Rip. That's the thing. Continue. So it broke. It shattered. Terrence Mann.
Yeah, it shattered. So that was a shocking thing in my house. But I think as far as the playoffs, shocking so far, it has to be the Kings going up 2-0. I mean, we know Golden State had their road struggles this year. But Sacramento, there were a lot of questions. Are they too young? Are they good enough? 4-time champs. And obviously it's only 2 games. Golden State could easily win the next 2 at Chase Center and tie it up. But it feels like 2001 again, where Sacramento's back. That fan base has always been amazing. And you can hear the difference between that crowd on TV and a Dallas crowd or even a Phoenix crowd. It's an amazing environment, and light the beam, baby. Let's go Kings.
You're all in on the Kings, man. Yeah, it reminds me, De'Aaron Fox he's better than Monte Ellis was during that Dallas series back in 2008, but a lot of similarities with ability to hit big shots at the big moment. How about that guy, De'Aaron Fox? Okay, that's enough Kings. That's enough Kings talk, Rip. I want to move over really fast to Memphis. And then we have an interview with you, bro. And we need to learn, the listeners need to know more about the guy that is Rip here. So stay tuned for that. Let me get a quick applause just to see if the listeners are still into that. No, they're over it. They've arrived. Rip. The second most exciting series for me is this Memphis Lakers series. I think we're watching LeBron. I said this on a couple other podcasts. I think we're watching LeBron in his swan song season of being this great, this level, and you still saw it early in the Memphis game. He went to the rack very hard, and just the seas parted, and he dunked it, and it was, oh my God, if he keeps doing this. We had injury scares. We had interesting substitutions. We had a fourth quarter where a guy who maybe if you live in LA, you knew about, maybe if you Rip, did you know a lot about Austin Reeves? Did you know that he had the ability to take over a playoff game and score the final 10 points to really lock a playoff game on the road up against the Memphis Grizzlies?
You know what? I saw him early, and he was a force early in the season. Then he finally started starting games, and I tried to book him on the pod, and we were really close. It's probably hopefully going to happen in the off season, but yeah, he's been kind of a fan favorite out here. He's an Oklahoma kid, just kind of unassuming, but he's got a little killer in him, man. And he hits shots. That's the thing. He could be a 50, 40, 90 guy at some point. He hits shots, DK.
Yeah. You have the defensive player of the year in Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr., doing his best, but we talked about it. Gonna be difficult if Anthony Davis is being Anthony Davis. Anthony got hurt for a minute. If you were watching, he said he can't feel his arm, is what he mouthed to the crowd. Everybody said, that's it. See ya. This is what we were expecting from Anthony Davis. And he had a Paul Pierce moment. He came back and he was better than before, especially defensively. So excited about that. I'm excited about the Lakers. I'm a Suns fan, and I'm not even talking about the Suns. Here's why I'm not talking about the Suns. Game 1, I think they'll get it together a little bit more. I'm terrified of Kawhi Leonard. That's it. Period.
And it's also, DK, we're recording on Tuesday, so game 2 is tonight. We don't know the outcome by the time this pod comes out on Wednesday, so it's a little weird timing to talk about. But I agree, man. Kawhi Leonard's hands are ridiculously big, and he's the best player in that series. And you're talking about a series with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and Kawhi is the best player in that series.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get the Kobe treatment in this, and we're gonna have to see. Come on, Chris. Come on, CP3. just a little bit more offense here and a little bit more of that ball moving a little bit more to get some open looks. But we're going to be okay there. So we'll save that. We've got to Phoenix. We've gotten this far here, Rip. What else in sports before I get to this interview with you? Jalen Hurts, $255 million. Eagles locked him up. Good move.
One of the hardest things to find, DK, is a franchise quarterback. I think their GM said it the other day. They got theirs clearly, and you don't let them go, man. It's an 180 from what the Ravens are doing with Lamar. They should just pay that guy a while ago, and maybe this will make them pay him. But you find your guy and you pay him. You don't let that guy get away, DK.
Talking directly to the Baltimore Ravens, possibly there. But you're right. He's proven that. Well, the difference between the Ravens situation and the Eagles situation has been multiple playoff games in a Super Bowl and the ability to really lead through good times and bad with Jalen Hurts. I think Lamar, I think Winston, can you double check on me? I don't even think he's won one playoff game. Is that right, Rip? Has he won one? Is he a single playoff game winner?
Let's check that with our statistician.
We'll check that with Winston. But it's I don't even know. Jalen, congratulations. He shouldn't be a situation where he signs that deal and we immediately think about Lamar Jackson and what's going on there. But they kind of go hand in hand because it's just the way the media has put it all together. I hope this doesn't mess up Lamar Jackson completely. And this whole weird thing creates this kind of, I don't know. I don't want to I hope he doesn't lose his love for the game through all this bullshit.
You're right. It feels like I could see him being out of the league in a few years. I mean, who knows where it goes from here, but yeah, I think that situation was really mismanaged, and they should have paid the guy.
Yeah, it comes down to that, man. You got anything with your guy Doc Rivers up there in Philadelphia before we move on? I want to stick in sports. I'm nervous about this interview is going to be a 1-star, so I'm going to try to dig up all the sports stuff I got. Rip, am I missing anything else from the NBA playoffs before we close this chapter?
Well, I was listening to a Shooting 2 last week with your guest appearance, and it was an amazing podcast, amazing episode. But except for the part where you picked the Nets to beat the Sixers, are you riding or dying with that, or
it's pretty clear in that a lot of things had to go exactly the right way, and it started off immediately in a shit storm for the Brooklyn Nets, and they don't. That was a scenario where it would have been a 1 out of 50 miracle. Every situation had to be very good. And you know what, Rip? That was also because I love Cam Johnson. I love Mikal Bridges. Okay. And I believe in them. And they have been showing up in the playoffs. Look, there's no answer for Joel Embiid anywhere on that team. Your guy Claxton looks like JV versus varsity.
So what do you got if the Sixers and Celtics win their respective series and match up? What's your prediction for that series? You think the Sixers have any shot at taking down the Celtics?
It's going to be good. This is Doc's year, and against the Celtics, this is how the novel is written. This is how his biography is written, right? If he's going to be either the villain or if he's going to be the hero, Mr. Doc Rivers, right? So there's lots. You know who it comes down to? We're talking about Joel Embiid. We're talking about Brooklyn not being able to stop him. Guess what? Who needs to stay healthy? Big dog. Robert Williams needs to stay healthy. It's the only solution there. Who are you going to put on Joel? The Giannis stopper? He's playing terrible. He can't hit a shot for his life.
I mean, you got that vet Al Horford there, a little bit undersized for Embiid, but they're a smart team defense, and it feels like the Celtics have kind of owned the Sixers over the past couple of years. So, yeah, if that series does happen, I'm thinking 4-1, 4-2 Celtics, but we'll see, man. Harden and Maxey are better this year. So,
all right, to the good stuff, Rip. Basically, we've gotten some social media requests. People have hit the email. They want to know more about us. So maybe later on in the month or next month, we can do this with me. In the meantime, I got a couple questions for you. You cool with that? I'm going to interview you for a couple questions here. It's not like actually I spend this whole fucking podcast interviewing you and asking for your wonderful thoughts, but I'm asking more personal questions so people can get to know you. You cool with that?
Yeah, a lot of pods I know do mailbags. Our guys at Trash Talk Boys, some awesome questions in their mailbag. So yeah, maybe this will be our little mini mailbag about us.
Yeah, mini mailbag. Maybe I'll take the 1-star approach here. We'll do that interview style here. So hit the intro music. All right, we got Rip here. Rip, here's the truth of the matter. You recently turned 44 or 45, possibly 46 or 47. You don't have to confirm. I think I'm in the ballpark there. You've successfully gotten through the toddler year of raising two boys. You're starting a new job this week, literally this week. We asked this to Cody Williams last week. Take us into your life for a minute. What do the next few months look like for you, honestly?
It's interesting because, yeah, you mentioned starting the new job. So right now it's a lot of training and learning the processes and onboarding of the company I'm starting with. But it's also a remote job. So it's, I've been working remote for the last few years, and it allows me to take the kids to school and pick them up. And there's only about 6 weeks of school left. So we got summer coming up, which changes everything. You're hopefully planning some vacations and getting the kids into different camps. And so really it boils down to time management and how organized you can be. So that's going to be a big transition for me, having a 40-hour a week job now from what I've been doing. So it's going to really test me, man. It's going to test everyone, struggles with it in their own ways at times, but it's really going to be.
What are you really thinking, like, in your emotions? Are you excited? Are you no coach talk? Are you like pissed off? You got to go back to work a little bit? Are you happy? Do you feel more purpose involved? A more balanced life is ahead? Are you like, fuck? What's the honest feeling moving into next chapter?
I'm happy, but I'm also worried because there's only so many hours in the day, and I know that I can spend too many hours on the wrong thing sometimes as far as like work-life balance. So I'm a little worried that it's going to take me some time to figure it out. But I've also been through it before, working and raising the kids. So it's I'm a little worried.
You're always really good at figuring that out, though. I feel like you figure that out quicker than most. Some people it takes 2 years sometimes to figure out their balance and flow. I take a little bit longer to find my balance and flow. I feel like you kick in a couple months, you're like, okay, I can bang. You really slot things better than others once you figure out the system.
I hope so. I mean, I just don't want to be working at night when I should be spending time with my wife and that sort of thing after the kids go to bed. So it's it's going to take some transition and really just to step up in my time management game.
Good, bro. Was it money? Was it yourself? What was that reason that got you back into the job market? Benefits? Some people out there thinking, why doesn't Rip just go for this podcast or do what he wants? Was there other reasons for hopping back in to the work game beyond just, got to do what I got to do?
Well, I'm in advertising, and I've been in advertising for over 15 years. I do like the industry, so that kind of drew me back. And yeah, obviously money is always a factor, benefits. You mentioned I'm somewhere in my mid 40s, so I'm not retiring yet. It'd be amazing, but I did enjoy my, let's say 3 months off as a kind of a stay-at-home dad or house husband. It was amazing, but yeah, at some point you have to get back to earning an income and contributing to society,
Paying them taxes, man. I know you got those taxes done, listeners. If you're gonna get your taxes in, get them in. It's that time. Get that extension in. Shit, you missed it already. Rip, you're living in Long Beach. We talk about it a lot on the podcast. I know you're committed to both the community and invested in not only the community, your children, your savings into your home. Tell us why Long Beach, 8 years in, 1 to 5 stars on that decision after 8 years in Long Beach. And has it been financially better to say, stay in Long Beach first, move to Phoenix, for example, your hometown?
That's a great question, because my wife and I have been talking a lot lately about why we stay in Southern California and if we should. A lot of it is our job, especially her job. But look, Long Beach is a great city to live in. There's a lot of young families like us, but like everywhere, and especially in California and throughout the U.S., there's a lot of crime, a lot of homelessness, a lot of other big issues that you don't see in like European countries. And so there has been some talk, man. Like, what if we just up and move to like Switzerland? Like, could it be a possibility, or would we? I
see that on House Hunters all the time. I think about it. I see it on House Hunters all the time. I know you do too, bro.
And it's really about, you want to provide the best future for your kids, and like, where does that happen at? Like, obviously that would be really far away from family, but it's probably one of the safest places in the world. Some of those Northern European countries, very little crime. You don't have to worry about. We went to the Mario movie the other day, and I actually had like a 60-second period where I thought, like, what if there's a shooter in this theater? And I'm like scanning and like trying to figure out what the plan would be. Like, do you just get down, or like, that's sad that you have to think of those things, but these things are happening everywhere, DK, except
guns
for
everywhere. Guns. I think I accidentally cut somebody off, just accidentally. Everybody knows I'm a bad driver. This is common knowledge, like my homie Jake Marco says. And accidentally, and they pulled up beside me, and literally my first thought was like, holy fuck, they're gonna shoot me. And that's not, how is that where the mind is, but also totally makes sense, man. Well, you said that multiple times. Safety is in, you live in a very quaint neighborhood. What are you talking? Car thefts or drug use? What are we talking safety when we say that?
just look at the last 3 like mass shootings in the US. It's been at a bank in Louisville. It's been at a grocery store in Buffalo was one of them. A St. Patrick's Day, or what was it, a 5K somewhere outside of Chicago, and then obviously schools. Like, these are places we go like every week. DK, it's just totally random. It's scary, man. At some point, it has to enter your thoughts. So why are you
So the
here?
Rip family, literally, you guys are eating pizza around the table, talking about moving to Spain or to Switzerland. Beyond if that did happen, I mean. So back to the original 1 to 5 stars, 8 years in, all things included here. What do we give the city of Long Beach in that this particular decision to move to Southern California for you?
Yeah, I didn't mean to avoid the question. I'd say a 7, because like I said, it is a great place to live. Tons of diversity, tons of great restaurants, but also those issues I mentioned, man. It's real, and it does get scary sometimes.
You really think you would do with your kids? It'd be wild. Do a pickup and move to a foreign country. Are we manifesting that right now on this podcast to happen?
I mean, we're 1 stars, man. There's probably a 1% chance.
We were having a conversation at my house yesterday, not even yesterday, this weekend, about where to next. We have a lot involved in the hospitality world and the hotel game, so the world's your oyster at this point in time. We came to some similar conclusions. If that did happen, it was Europe, possibly that some Denmark, some new areas of peace, cleanliness. Is that what we're looking for now? That's pretty wild. Rip, maybe we relocate. Maybe we start a podcast in Palermo.
Start interviewing. What do they have out there? Like figure skaters, or I don't even know what. Yeah,
we'll just interview focaccia bread. We'll just eat focaccia and talk about how it tastes, and that's what we'll do the whole podcast. But that's interesting that you went there with your mind. Sounds like you guys have had that same conversation. But as far as things go, we're gonna raise the kids in California, yada 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 yada. But if a situation did show its face, the Rip family would explore it.
Yeah, I think you have to be open to it. I mean, if we got job offers there or something like that out of the blue, then you'd have to be open to it. But yeah, like I said, right now it's probably less than a 1% chance. But something I did actually put a little bit of serious thought into the other night, because how can you not with the situation we're in?
Oh my God, you and your wife would be really good on House Hunters International. Now that I think about it, too, you guys would be exactly what they would want. You would have 2 very different opinions. You would be vocal about your opinions. It would be a wonderful half an hour of television before coming to a nice agreement on a house. I'm manifesting House Hunters International show for you, Rip, in the next series of your life. Next question, this podcast in general. Most podcasts don't get through their first 3 episodes. We're moving into 200 plus range. We're expanding our community of podcast friends and partners and all kinds of stuff. We're out here doing it. Question that comes to me a lot is like, oh, cool, you're doing it. Like, what's the plan? What's the goal? We have our own inside reasonings for doing this, but podcast wise, if you put it on tape, Rip, talk it into the world of what this is, what it can be, and how it falls into your life now as 25% stay-at-home husband, dad, 75% remote worker, killer. Go ahead.
It has become obviously a regular part of both of our lives, because we've been doing it for 3 years now. So it's a weekly thing. I think we missed maybe 1 week in 3 years, guest or no guest. So it's definitely part of the routine now. The challenge is always making it creative and interesting, especially when we don't have a guest, because admittedly it has been a little tougher to get guests as the world comes back from the pandemic, DK, lately, and we talk about it. But there's a lot of options out there for these guests, and for them to come on One Star Recruits is sometimes a big challenge and a hard sell. But we've been getting them. We got more coming. As always, this week we have no guests other than myself. But it's I'd say the plan going forward is not to care as much about the numbers and the guests, but as long as we're having fun and we can continue to be creative with the stuff we talk about, that will get people to listen and really attract new listeners. We're going to keep it going, DK. That's my thought.
Excellent answer, Rip. Excellent answer. And I feel the same way. We have some things up our sleeve that we're going to keep trying. And that's the fun thing about it. It's a malleable product. It's a malleable thing where we can keep moving around, trying new things. And I'm so happy and grateful that we align in that particular area. Last one, final question for you, Rip. I want you to dig into your whole life. Like if I did a scan your face and you just did a whole memory thing, maybe like the moment that you're dying and people see the light and they have the whole thing. 3 people, your entire life that got you to age 49 right now that affected your life in a positive way that we'd like to say their names and thank them on this podcast. Go right ahead.
I'd say number one, my wife, DK, because I don't know where I'd be without her. And, you know, Mother's Day is coming up and that obviously factors into it. But, you know, before I met her, I was kind of drifting a little bit. So she kind of locked me down and gave me some stability. So that's number one. Number two, I would say my last boss who hired me in advertising and ended up being at that company for 15 years. Amazing boss. Still talk to her to this day. And number three is our guy, comedian Adam Lamb, because he's the reason I came to California. So I followed him out here. So he's the reason that I met that boss and my wife, really, because without him, I wouldn't have ever come to California. So that's the 3, DK, right there.
There you go, Rip. We get to know you a little bit more, man. And you've affected so many people's lives in positive ways and variety of ideas. It's funny, we as we cross in different pools of human beings and some connect and some don't. Everybody who does come back to my world really appreciates our friendship, what you mean to me, and what you give to the world in a positive way, in a curiosity way. I think one of your strongest attributes as a human is your curiosity, and I'm happy to be on this journey with you, bro. So thank you for doing a little One Star Recruits podcast interview, Rip. I'm gonna give you one more round of applause, bro. Thank you, man. All right. 1-star moments, baby. We survived the interview. 1-star moments of the week, listeners. Anything we did that was 1 star, we're going to share it with the world. I'm going to hit it with a beat just so Rip can clear his mind. You can think about it again. Here we go. All right. There we go, Rip.
Look at you and your new mixer. Let's I just spent a lot of time talking. Let's let you go first on this one and tell us your 1-star moment.
All right, 1-star moment. I got new golf balls. So I got new golf balls. I got a deal. I believe it was from golf.com. It was sent over to me from a fellow golf buddy. There's a get 3 dozen, get a dozen for free. Good deal. So I pulled the trigger. Said, I'm going to get some golf balls. Rip, I went ahead and I put my name on them and I put the pod on them. DK, 1-star recruits.
I saw that. They look amazing.
See
Are
that?
they? Oh, what's the 1-star part about that? Sounds
yeah,
awesome.
Amazing, right? Amazing. Awesome. We're doing it. We got our balls. This is it. Awesome. Proceeded to play a little golf. Broke them out. I took my wife out to golf. We'll save that for another episode. That's a thing. She did it, though. She survived. She survived 18 holes. Thank you, Kimmy. Wonderful outing. But my golf balls, DK, 1-star recruits. Played some golf, had a great time. I proceeded to launch on hole 18. Proceeded to launch what I thought was going to be just a clean pitching wedge, about 105, maybe 110 yards. Completely bladed it. Shot that thing 200 right into a small business, the Honolulu store, a great small business. Had to put my head down, walk into that small business. Guess what, Rip? An 11-year-old kid handed me a ball that I probably came about, 2 feet from busting a window on, or at least maybe hitting somebody's shin, or maybe hitting them in the belly, maybe like Draymond, like hitting them in the ribs. Who knows? But it has my fucking name and my podcast on it. Good marketing or bad marketing, Rip?
I was just going to say, man, 1-star branding idea right there. It's good that you didn't break the window, because if you did, that would definitely be 1-star. But the fact that you got the logo of the pod in front of someone who otherwise wouldn't have seen it, I mean, that's at least 3-star right there.
Maybe we created a young fan. He was a younger 11-year-old. Maybe he's looking for some 5 stars to look into. So maybe you're right there. So it got me thinking more, unless I'm a better golfer, What if it breaks a window at a house? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? They automatically can just Google that and then they know who did it.
No, and
Maybe.
yeah, that's worst case scenario. Anytime
Worst
you
case.
break a window, it's bad. And yeah, with you're basically like leaving your info at the scene of the crime. Come on, man, that's 1 star for sure.
That's 1 star, but it's fun. There's a golf ball war going on right now in the battle for golf balls. There's all kinds of competitors. There's all kinds of websites offering deals. Something cool now is you can put whatever you want on them for free. So golfers out there, if you need new balls, don't wait to the last minute and overspend at the course. They're 20%. You can get deals online, all kinds of deals. And instead of marking it up with a Sharpie, put your message on there. Put a life message on there. What would you put on your balls, Rip?
I like the logo idea too, man. It's a great logo, that shield, that Raiders shield with the 1-star recruits on it. I like that logo too. And if you lose them, hey, it's getting in the hands of someone who might Google it, like you said.
You can make a good ball joke. I couldn't really think of one, like hold my balls and cough or something, but the world's your oyster is the point of that 1-star moment. So go check it out, friends. 1 stars. Go get yourself some golf balls. What do you got, Rip?
I was at the dentist last week for my 6-month like cleaning or checkup, and the dental hygienist, she's this great woman who's been like my hygienist for probably 3 years now. So always super polite and nice and just, seems like a really nice person. And somehow that they make the small talk in between cleaning your teeth, and somehow the question got turned on to like movies, and because I think I mentioned I was going to see the Mario movie with my kids that day, and she was saying how she hadn't seen a movie since the pandemic, and then just like Freudian slip, like out of my mouth, it came, I haven't seen an adult movie in about 6 years. And so like, it sounds like, oh, I haven't seen a porno in like 6 years. But what I meant was like, I haven't seen a non-kids movie in like 6 years. So I said adult movie, just poor choice of words. 1-star moment of the week. It cut a little, like I said, really nice person, caused like 3 seconds of like super awkwardness where I had to correct myself and just very awkward.
Was she in clean mode? So like I may possibly boobs in your face too. Could have even been more awkward based on her positioning in that given moment.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. But just like I said, like probably one of the most like grounded, like innocent people you'd ever meet, and just saying that sentence to her was super awkward. Way less awkward than it would have been saying it to you or someone else. But yeah, it just 1-star sentence out of my mouth and 3 seconds of awkwardness.
Would you take it back? Did you make a joke? Did you just let it hang out there and there? Let it hang out there in the dentist's office?
I think I let out like a nervous 1-star giggle and then just said, yeah, I mean a non-kids movie. So, just clear things up.
Clear things up a little bit. All right, good. Well, you could have shifted the conversation. You could have shifted the conversation to what the text message you were having with Gary about when those beautiful flowers bloom and they smell like shrimp. There's all kinds of conversations to be had that you can shift to. 1-star Rex of the week, Mr. Rip. I'm gonna wrap this thing up, this interview special with you, my friend. I'll bring us home because this is kind of corny what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you hit us with your 1-star rec. Go ahead. Give Nick something to text us about and be excited that Rip recommended. Go ahead.
Mine goes back to a guy that you mentioned earlier in this podcast that you want something better out of is CP3, Chris Paul. I got something good for you from him. It's a children's book he wrote. It actually came out this year, like 3 months ago. It's called Basketball Dreams. I just stumbled upon it at the Long Beach Library here and checked it out for my kids. It's, like 20 pages. It's all about his grandfather growing up, had a big influence on him down in North Carolina, and was always at his games and talks about his family and a little bit of his childhood. So, we're a little bit down on CP3 DK, but if you check out this book, especially those of you with kids that are into basketball or even not into basketball, Basketball Dreams, check it out on Amazon. Check it out at your library like I did for free. It's a good one, DK.
Let's get a pull up on social media this week. Let's do who do you hate more, Draymond Green or Chris Paul? I think it's going to be Draymond Green, but I think it'll be pretty close.
I'll put it up. I mean, they're both. Chris Paul needs to do something dirty maybe in tonight's game, and then it'll be a good timely poll. But yeah, I'll put that poll. That is an interesting one. What's your recommendation of the week, DK?
Recommendation of the week. Let's have this new station. Let's give it a beat here because this is a little corny. Oh, that's the jam. Let's do another. Let's do a different one. There we go. Some energy. All right, NBA. I led with it. I'm going to finish with it. The playoffs are happening. You need to have a unique gear for watching the game at home, going to a friend's place, going to the bar, maybe just going to get some food during the game. The game's on. You got to have the right gear. And Rip led with it, and you nailed it, bro. You have an Austin Reeves big head shirt or Austin Reeves doing that floater shirt. Nobody else is going to have that in Studio City when you show up at Lauren's house to watch the game. All right. I want you to go to 500 level listeners right now. The time is now for the playoffs. 500 level, 1 star is the code. Save yourself 20%. Get yourself a unique NBA team. You're gonna get an Instagram picture probably when you show up with the people. They're gonna love it. You're gonna get at least 3 compliments, and you're also supporting us here at the One Star Recruits. So the time is now. If there's ever a time to get a playoff NBA shirt, it's gonna come in handy. Guess what? All my non-sports fans out there, here's when this shirt comes in handy. Not now. You'll have it. Maybe you'll get one wear out of it. It's gonna go in the drawer. Guess what, Rip? Guess when it's gonna be an unbelievable retro cool hip shirt 3 years from now. 500level.com. How's that, bro? Is that too much? I need some more music.
An investment for the future. I like it. And just quick note there, 500 level ships very quickly, and it's like $4 to ship a shirt, which is amazing these days. And like if you order an Austin Reeves shirt tonight, you'll have it before like game 4, I guarantee, if you're in the US, because man, they ship quickly, and the Lakers series is going to go for a while, DK.
Yeah, you might need a BAM shirt from Miami. Who knows what's going to happen? You might need to support Chris Middleton in Milwaukee if you're listening to us in the beautiful state of Wisconsin. So that's what I got, Rip. We survived, man. We did it. I'm going to be traveling, bro. I'm going to Tejas. I'm going to a wedding in Galveston. Some say Galveston is beautiful. Some say Galveston is a shithole. I will let you know. I am excited to eat barbecue. If listeners out there have any recommendations of things to do in the city of Houston or the city of Galveston, I got one free night in Houston, and I'd love to check out some cool spots. Hit us on social media. We appreciate you. 5 stars if you are so inclined. Share this with your friends and family if they want to hear about Rip's life. I probably could have had some better questions prepared for you, Rip, but it was a bit of a freestyle. So we'll see the intake. But I promise that I'll flip the script. I'll let you interview me. Everybody has questions about me. Everybody's curious how I live in Hawaii and do my thing. We'll unpack some of those. So it's all out there in the open. That sound good?
1 stars for life, baby. See you next week.
Light.